Yeah, you mentioned the game being very dangerous and a very sad thing happening with Damar Hamlin a couple of weeks ago, collapsing on the field in the
Mhm.
Bills Monday night game against the Bengals, and a lot of it was made of with the NFL too. That these former players and even the current players don't get a lot of the benefits that a lot of the other leagues get. So, what are your thoughts on that? And also, would you would do to improve these players' benefits as a whole?
Um, hey, Let's start with giving these players lifetime insurance. Um, being a retired guy, being a guy who's been out of the league for some years now, things on my body have gotten worse. And I didn't think I would end up like this. I didn't think that, I would um, at times have the mental state that I have. But I'm learning through conversation, through more knowledge, through more information from resources, contacting former players that it's obviously it's from football. When you play a game like that and you're making full speed car crashes literally every play. I mean, I was a special teams guy. This is when guys were holding hands in the wedge and standing in front of the kick returner. They catch the ball, I'm running down full speed. My job was not to make the tackle. You can look at my stats. I don't have a lot of tackles playing special teams, but what I did was a very valuable player on the special teams where I would come down and I would bust through 1 and 2 so somebody else can make a tackle. So I'm busting through two 330-pound guys holding hands, busting through them just to make the returner go somewhere else so someone else can make the tackle. And when you do that repeatedly throughout a game, repeatedly throughout a season for multiple seasons, you're bound to have some life-changing injuries, right? And so as I'm multiple years out of the league now and things are starting to break down, I'm a candidate for a knee replacement on my left knee. And it's like, I thought I was fine. I thought this pain is just pain that I had to deal with, and I'm just used to dealing with it being an athlete, being an NFL player, being a tough guy, right? And come to find out, now these are things that I need to correct if I want to have a decent life later on. And so I think lifetime, and it's hard saying all that to say I have to get insurance through my wife because we don't have NFL insurance, which is unreal. Considering I played 6 years, I was a special teams guy most of my career, fighting to make the roster every year. So I had to put my body on the line. There were no time to get injured. The injuries I did have were injuries where normal people can't come back. MCL tears, PCL tears, Liz Frank fractures, serious injuries. And these things, had put me down. It wasn't like a twisted ankle or, you know. So I think lifetime insurance will be a great thing. I think just full transparency in what they're trying to do for the retired players would be a great thing. We had a good career. They paid us well. Even me being a bottom of the roster guy, I feel like they paid me well for what I did. If I could go back and do it again, I would have tried to find a way to get more. It's not as accessible as it was when I played. Lifetime insurance would be a great start, and I think a lot of guys would feel like something will be accomplished if they can get that worked out. We do have the Retired Players Association that's trying to work on that though, which is awesome.
Antoine, a lot of different players, including Odell Beckham, came out the other day. Actually, the last couple of weeks, but all over social media the other day, talking about grass and turf, how it's affected him over the last couple of years. A lot of wide receivers with the tears in their knees, with the rotator cuff problems that some of these guys have had when they hit the turf. To me, they've said grass is so much better for your knees, your ankles, and your legs than it is to play on turf. Are you surprised that the NFL over the last couple of years have tried to transition the fields into turf instead of keeping it to grass?
Honestly, I don't know the reasoning behind that because when I played, I feel like I liked back when I was in college, they had like the real turf, the turf that had like cement underneath, which was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they got rid of that. Now, for me being a kid from Ohio, like there's nothing like grass. And you have like an open grass, a field. It's that smell, that everything, it's amazing. I felt like when I got to college that the sports grass or whatever made me play faster. But over time, I realized that it's really not good for your knees. There's no perfect sports turf that they can make. There's nothing like that natural grass